Talon was bleeding from his butt. His rear end scraped against the asphalt as two bullies tossed him around like a rag doll and pummeled him as he curled up. Quinn's mind spiraled with each hit. Shame and anger twisted in his chest, but his body refused to fight back. To everyone else, he appeared powerless, a fatal flaw on a planet where superpowers came either naturally or through expensive enhancements wealthy parents bought for their children.
Pathetic and weak. Can't even defend yourself.
He wasn't wrong. The sun seemed to drain Quinn's strength, leaving him helpless. Quinn screamed, "Get off of me!" The bullies laughed again, and one punched Quinn in the nose. Blood poured out of his nose and smeared across his face. Suddenly, Quinn felt a surge of strength, and he pushed one of the bullies to the ground. The bully's eyes went wide as he scrambled to his feet.
This isn't over, loser.
After they fled, Quinn cleaned himself up and hurried to combat training class. Snickers greeted his late arrival, but he ignored them, taking his station and loading the VR training module. Experience points, 80 out of 100. 20 points from leveling up, yet miles behind his classmates. No matter how many optional quests he completed, he remained dead last among the cadets. The simulation flickered to life. Green-skinned Dalki aliens materialized before him. Quinn steadied his breathing. He couldn't afford mistakes now. Beside him, Erin dazzled the class with her ice powers, destroying simulated Dalki in record time. Meanwhile, aliens swarmed Quinn as he desperately searched for weapons, watching other cadets wield their abilities with practiced ease. Quinn had nothing. Drooling aliens closed in. For a moment, the simulation fell away and he remembered the real Dalki invasion years ago. Fear paralyzed him as the creatures lunged. He had just managed to dodge and grab one with his virtual gauntlets when his headset was yanked away. Quinn turned to find Riley, the smug second year who lived to torment him.
Stop wasting everyone's time with gear you'll never master. Training you is pointless. We're the ones who'll protect humanity when the Dalki return.
Give it back.
Riley allowed Quinn to grab the headset but maintained his grip, laughing as Quinn pulled.
That's all your strength? You're making me cry. Now get lost.
Quinn strained harder, but silver rippled across Riley's hand, transforming it into living metal. Still, Quinn managed to budge Riley's grip slightly. The bully's smile vanished.
I said, get lost.
Metal encased Riley's free hand as he struck. The punch sent Quinn sprawling, a welt rising on his cheek.
Health, 1 out of 5.
No one moved to help. Everyone knew Riley served Momo, the Duke's nephew and most powerful third-year cadet. Crossing Riley meant crossing the Duke himself. Even the combat instructor looked away.
Talentless talent's gone after tomorrow's Apex trials. Even if you don't place last, they'll kick you out.
Later, Quinn took the train to the city cemetery, where he laid flowers on his mother's grave.
It's been 8 years since I lost you, Mom, and I miss you every day.
She died in the Dalki invasion. Though Quinn knew little about her role. Her place among the fallen soldiers marked her as a hero. Quinn thought of the only thing she left him, a strange book with bone-like grooves and a steel lock. Opening it days before joining the academy had somehow installed this system inside him.
All these stats and daily quests. I wish you were here to guide me.
Sunlight pierced through the clouds and Quinn's system flashed a warning.
Direct sunlight exposure. All stats reduced by 50%.
Quinn sighed at the familiar message as he felt his muscles weaken and his throat burn with thirst. Still, he forced his arm to brush away the dirt collecting on his mother's headstone.
The Apex trials are tomorrow, and if I don't make the top 16, they'll throw me out. But I won't let that happen. I'll train until I drop, and I'll make you proud.
The journey back to the academy dorms felt longer than usual. Quinn's mind raced with possibilities and doubts, but he kept thinking of the promise he made to his mother as he entered the training grounds. Sliding on the virtual reality headset, he loaded the Dalki combat simulator. Fighting these digital aliens wouldn't earn him any experience points, but it was his best chance to improve his hand-to-hand combat skills. Going into tomorrow's duels against enhanced humans with nothing but his fists was like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. The next morning, Quinn's stomach twisted as he stared at the tournament bracket for the Apex trials. For most cadets, today's matches would just determine their advancement through the military ranks. For Quinn, it meant the difference between having a future or being thrown out on the streets. His opponent's name made his blood run cold. Dan Elmwood. Not only was Dan a second-year student, but he was also friends with Riley. Of course, Quinn would draw someone with a full year of academy training under their belt. The military arena loomed before him. A massive dome with tiered seating surrounding a circular combat stage. Then came the announcement that made Quinn's throat go dry.
Number 64, first year Quinn Talon versus number 28, second year Dan Elmwood.
As Quinn stepped onto the stage, his system interface flickered.
Combat quest. Defeat Dan Elmwood. Reward 20 EXP plus random ability.
Quinn's pulse hammered in his ears. This was more than just another duel. This was his last chance. Victory meant leveling up and staying in the academy. Defeat meant losing everything.
Fight!
Dan charged forward, dissolving into smoke before Quinn's eyes. Right. Dan's invisibility power, before Quinn could adjust. A fist materialized in front of his face. The impact sent him sprawling.
Health 4 out of 5.
Quinn barely rolled to his feet when Dan vanished again. He tried tracking the second year's movement, but Dan reappeared with a smirk, landing another crushing blow to Quinn's stomach.
Health 3 out of 5.
3 health points were all that stood between him and expulsion. As Dan disappeared once more, Quinn closed his eyes, filtering out the jeering crowd and his own ragged breathing. He focused entirely on one thing, the sound of Dan's footsteps. There, as Dan materialized to strike, Quinn ducked, swept his opponent's legs, and pounced.
Your invisibility only works while you're moving. Isn't that right? You have to become visible to attack.
Before Dan could respond, Quinn straddled him and unleashed a barrage of punches until his opponent's face swelled like a bruised fruit. A musical chime rang in Quinn's ears.
Congratulations on the victory. Would you like to level up?
Of course I want to level up.
Warning. Level up. Changes are irreversible.
Just do it.
Congratulations. You are now level 2. Evolution process initiating.
Quinn stumbled to the locker room to catch his breath. New messages flashed before his eyes.
Evolution complete. Status halfling. New ability unlocked. Blood swipe level 1. Range 5 feet. Effect fires red energy from user's hands. Cost 1 health point per use.
Quinn stared in disbelief. He finally had an ability of his own. He quickly ate some food, bringing his health back to 3 out of 5. When Quinn returned to the arena, the announcement boomed.
Number 64, first year Quinn Talon versus number 14, second year Riley James.
This time, Quinn strode confidently to center stage.
You got lucky with Dan. He's an idiot, but he's my idiot. I'll make you pay for what you did.
Quinn met his gaze without flinching.
This is the top 32. I'm about to prove I belong in the top 16.
Riley's laughter echoed through the arena.
You? Top 16? These trials are for real warriors, not weaklings. You got no abilities, no skills, just a dead mother to cry about.
Metal encased Riley's fists as he charged. Quinn dodged with newfound agility. His level 2 stats, combined with countless hours of combat simulation training, made Riley's moves predictable. Months of enduring his bullying hadn't hurt either. Quinn knew he had to strike first. With only 3 health points and his blood swipe costing 1 to use, he couldn't afford to take hits. He darted forward, stopping just within range and thrust out his hands.
Blood swipe.
Blood erupted from his palm, crystallizing into a beam that sliced through Riley's metallic arm. Blood spurted from Riley's wrist as his hand went limp.
Health 2 out of 5.
Never speak about my mother again. She fought in the Dalkey invasion. You know nothing about real sacrifice.
Riley stared at his bleeding arm, shocked.
You have a skill?
The crowd's mood shifted. Some began chanting Quinn's name. Clearly, he wasn't Riley's only victim. Enraged, Riley lunged. Quinn waited for his opening, then threw a punch at Riley's face. As predicted, the metallic armor rushed upward to protect his head. Quinn's knee found its unprotected target below. Riley's squeal echoed through the arena before he crumpled unconscious. The crowd erupted, But in the stands, Momo watched with cold calculation. He found his uncle, the Duke, in the concourse.
Uncle, and what when next opponent changed?
The Duke smiled indulgently.
Did you have someone specific in mind?
Momo's lips curled as the crowd's chants filtered through. Everyone was cheering Quinn's name.
To someone I want to destroy.
Back in the locker room, Quinn checked his status. He'd made it to the top 16, securing his place in the academy. His mother's system had come through when he needed it most. But as he prepared for his next match, Quinn knew he couldn't let his guard down. He'd need every advantage against what was coming next. A third-year opponent. A military instructor entered.
You're up, Quinn Talon.
Quinn's stomach dropped.
What? I just finished my match.
Third round starting. You're seated against first place.
Quinn's stomach dropped.
That's impossible.
Get in that arena, now.
The speakers boomed as Quinn entered the stadium.
Number 64. First year Quinn Talon versus number 14. Second year Riley James.
Momo stood waiting. Arms crossed, eyes closed, radiating menace. He towered over Quinn, his frame pure muscle, his presence suffocating. Before Quinn could even steady himself, the match began.
Fight!
Momo drew a whip from behind his back. Flames raced along its length. A soul weapon far more potent than the common beast weapons left behind after the Delki invasion. While beast weapons were mere artifacts, soul weapons manifested from their wielder's very essence. The flaming whip cracked through the air. Quinn tried to dodge, but Momo predicted his movement perfectly. The whip's edge caught his shoulder, searing through cloth and flesh.
Health, 3 out of 5.
2 health points gone in an instant. Before Quinn could recover, another message appeared.
Blood requirement. Active, negative 1 health point per hour without blood consumption. Blood consumption restores HP and grants stat points.
Quinn's body grew heavy, his muscles weak. The shoulder wound throbbed with unprecedented intensity. Most disturbing was his sudden, overwhelming craving for blood. Momo's whip struck again, somehow anticipating Quinn's every dodge. The burning cord wrapped around his neck, choking and scorching him.
Health, 2 out of 5. Health, 1 out of 5.
Quinn's vision darkened as Momo pinned him down, cutting off his air completely. His final health point flickered as death approached.
Health critical. Drink blood to replenish health.
Quinn struggled helplessly against Momo's grip.
I'm sorry, Mom. I tried.
Suddenly, murmurs rippled through the crowd. Momo looked up.
Who's opening the roof?
The arena's dome retracted, revealing a blood moon hanging full and red in the night sky. As its light touched Quinn's skin, power surged through his body. Momo and the rest of the crowd couldn't believe what they saw happening to Quinn. The system message chimed again.
Congratulations. Blood moon. Fatality unlocked.
The crowd watched in stunned silence as Quinn Talon began to transform.
To find out what happens next, listen to My Vampire System only on the Pocket FM app. Click the link below the video and continue listening for free.